Today, talk about really interesting. I got one that I talked about recently, and just listening to everyone talk about the different things that they talk about, about women and stuff in relationships, and it's really funny. It's quite funny what's going on. Oh, got one thumbs up. Don't see a viewer, but got a thumbs up. And one viewer is Alice. I wonder who that is. Chime in if you can. Thanks for the higher. Anyway, I'm going here. I'm listening to everyone. I'm listening to everyone. Um, what I'm doing? Talking about relationships. And it's really sad. All the um, relationship problems just still a major stumbling block for a lot of people. It really is. For me, things happen, things don't happen. I'm not really too much worried about it. Uh, yeah. So today I was talking to a friend, and he was talking about some things that a lot of people are talking about. And I've been absent going to these rooms, these relationship rooms and stuff, and it's it's really interesting. It's kind of sad too, though. But the thing is that there are a lot of people who are just, how can I say, who are not. It appears that people are not really interested in looking for the solution. They kind of like enjoy more talking about the problems. The problems seem to be more exciting, energetic, fun to talk about than the solution. And maybe that's because when you talk about a problem, everyone has their opinions. Hey, hello, viewer. Thank you for joining. You have anything you want to say? Mr. Unapologetic Clean. Oh, yeah, I'm going through relationship problems now. Oh, my God. Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that. Okay, yeah, this is, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. How are you doing? Okay, I'm doing good, good. I'm going through relationship problems right now. Okay, yeah. So, when it comes to relationships, I need to write a book. There are different steps to it. I was talking to a friend today, and I made a video and stuff, but we were okay, so I was talking to a friend today about relationships. First of all, a lot of guys, when they're talking about relationships, they're talking about the problem and not the solution. Well, another thing else, they're always talking about what women think. I have a show on what's that thing called Stream. Me and a friend we talked about that, and he wanted to talk about feminism. And pretty much what I told him was, hey, feminism is about women and their problems. Why are you talking about women? Why are you talking about women? Let them talk about that and being that feminism on them. That's them. That's not them. Basically, let's try this real quick. This is a guy. This guy is chasing a woman. This woman is 20 miles. This 20 miles means the only thing he knew about her is her parents. Her parents, but he doesn't know anything about her. But what he's doing, I don't have it here. But what he did was, what he did is he started having this imagination of him and this girl being in love. Okay, him and her being in love, and they're holding hands. Okay, and they're all in love, right? Okay, they're all in love. Okay, in Japan. I hope you guys can see that. Okay, so anyway, they've been in. Can you see that? Ah, it's not so good, but it's okay. I'm not a good artist. But anyway, um, he has an image of her, and his image of her, they're in love. But what a lot of people need to understand is that everything that you do in your mind is all controlled. Everything is controlled. Okay, it's like where you see a woman walking down the street. Hello, viewer. Thank you. I'm gonna just go through this real quick because this time I explained to a friend, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. But a lot of guys always say, "Oh my God," when I see a woman, "Oh, if I had her, I do this, I do this, I do that." Then you get her, and when you get her, after you get her, you go back to your friend and say, "Oh man, it wasn't as good as I, thought it was." So, what a lot of guys need to do is stop chasing the ones and turn around and see all these women who want you. Hello viewers, how are you? Look at all the women who want you, because there are a lot of women who want these guys or want you, but physical reasons or whatever, you don't want to be with them, but you want to chase this woman that's 20 miles ahead of you. But she's chasing this guy who got the bling 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 and he got the money. Okay? And that's what she wants. And it's okay if she wants the rich guys, because we all have our own wants, our own desires and stuff like that. He want her, she want him, they want him. So I see those circles are supposed to be women. So here, all these women, all these women want, him, but he don't want them. And so everyone's just going through this chasing, running away phase. And the irony of this live stream is absolutely amazing. I haven't seen Ralph in 4 years. Spirited today. Oh, thank you. Hey, how you been? Right, you can see my friend. Yes. Oh, okay, thank you. Okay. Wow, it's been a while. 4 years. Ooh. Yeah, actually, I need to get on here because a lot of guys have a lot of problems. There are simple solutions to them. So basically, this is what it is. So here, when I was talking to my friend, this diagram right here is the same diagram as we have when we're speaking to people. You say the subject, and they hijack your subject and add their own predicate. And you're like, I'm not finished. And you're like, and they always say, oh, well, I already know what you're gonna say. You don't know what I'm gonna say. Just listen. No, I understand. I don't need to listen. And then that just totally disrupts the whole pleasure of just even having a regular conversation when you speak and you can't even finish what you have to say. So basically, what this is, 1, 2, 3. This is he sees. Oh wait, how do I do that? Let me think. Oh, so he sees the subject, but the reality of who she really is, he doesn't go and ask her. That's the thing. A lot of guys really don't go and ask these women these real simple questions. Yes. And okay. Oh, the reason I'm doing this live stream is because, like I told my friend who I was just talking about this to, I did all of this stuff they talking about 10 years ago in my videos, but because I wasn't so popular back then, I don't get a lot of views and stuff. And like you guys know, Do You Love Black Men? I was one of the first ones to start that. And because I started, a lot of people are starting doing those kind of videos and stuff now, which is cool,
because I just did it just to get brothers to go to school, travel, do well in school and stuff, and and all that information. But somebody asked me to do this, so that's what I'm doing. So anyway, so I told him this information in this box is supposed to be her information that she's supposed to put in there. But the guys don't. They'll see her and they add their own. Then when they go to her and try to talk to her, and she's saying, hey, this is my real image. This is what I'm thinking about. This guy here. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking about. But he's like, no, no, it's okay. You don't have to explain it to me. You don't have to explain it to me. I know what you're going to think. And so he covers up hers and add his own. Okay, let me see. I remember it was back. Also, right. I remember I was back there in 2012. I started listening to you and viewing your contents. Oh, thank you. So you're, oh, gee, here, let me make you a moderator. Oh, no. Where are you? Okay, let me see if I can press that. You're a moderator? Okay, cool. Because I always let the people who watch my videos for a long time, been around for a long time, I always make them moderators. Okay, spirit to that. Actually, I met and dated a girl from Matsue, Japan because of you guys. It was well at first, but she had to leave. COVID complicated our relationships. We are just friends now. Okay, that's cool. As long as she's still in contact. But yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Things happens. But maybe I can touch on that a little later and stuff. Hey, what's up? Oh, and if you guys give me some thumbs up, that would be very appreciated. Okay, so basically what a guy does when he see a woman, this is her, and then she has her idea. But instead of listening to her saying, hey, I want this guy, he just blankets what she is going to say and say, you want me, or whatever he wanted to say in there. Whatever she wanted to say, he just put his own thing in there. And that's just going to be, 100% failure, period. It's just going to be 100% failure. A lot of these guys, like here, this image here, there's a lot of these guys create these images, well, I wouldn't say create these images, but they create these thoughts that they think women are thinking. And I've been in some of these other groups, these audio chat groups, and you have these relationship groups, and these guys are saying something, these women are saying, no, that's not how we think. And these guys say, no, we know how you think. And I'm thinking like, well, if it's coming from her mind, how are you going to be able to penetrate her mind? How are you going to do that? It's not. And see, that's probably the number one biggest issue, is that you got too many guys thinking they know what women are thinking instead of letting the women express their own thoughts. And that's where you have a lot of problems. And then a lot of women, when you get in these conversations, wait, I was watching 2022 when you started with, yes, I remember that when me and him, wow, I thought I knew him. Okay, yeah, I know. I met him like years ago, probably when he first got here. Oh my God, it was like way before I started making videos. But anyway, uh, a lot of women get upset because they can't focus. I mean, not focus, but actually express what they want to express, because these men are always saying, well, we know this is what you want and this and that. And these women are like, no, that's not what I want. And a lot of women, what they do is they just, okay, forget it, because the guys are just like overpowering them, just totally ignoring them. So the women just stop talking, and then these guys just go back and forth telling each other what women think and stuff, right? And that stuff is not cool, because the whole thing is, you're supposed to, in a relationship, it's supposed to be a two-way conversation anyway. And these women tell guys, if the man listens, the women will tell them what they want from a man, or what they want a man to do. So here it is. So I was in this, and I'll say, like I said before earlier, I think it was. I said, when I was in this one group, and it was like 50 some people in it, and between 25 and 30 maybe. And so they're going back and forth with the women talking about these relationships. So I'm in there listening. I'm 57, so I'm in there listening, right? And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, these guys are so lost. And so I jumped in. Thank goodness they let me talk. I said, you guys have a simple solution. The game is very easy. I said, when a woman looks at a man, how long does it take for her to decide whether or not she will sleep with him? Not that she will do it, but whether it's possible that she could sleep with him. After all of them just jumping in my case, they all said one word instantaneously. Yep, instantaneously at the same time. Then I said, okay, if you know that a woman who looks at you that already decided whether or not to date you or anything, but she can sleep with you or not, she already decided that, then what would be your next statement? And this one guy said, would you like to go out to dinner? And I started laughing. I could not believe it. I'm like, see, there it is. You guys are talking about you know the game, but you don't know. I said, and they asked me to tell them. I told them, no, I'm not going to tell them because of the way they treated me and stuff. And plus, that information actually is very valuable. And for the few people who I have told, that next statement can get you a whole bunch of money. Yeah, dinner. I mean, at least you would ask a woman her name first, I would guess. But I mean, different guys have different stuff. But yeah, when he said dinner, I was just laughing and stuff. And I went and gave him a little bit more information, but I didn't tell him what to say. And I said, listen, you guys, the problem, I believe, the biggest problem I believe today is that men enjoy complaining about not being able to get a woman, then I wouldn't say that. They enjoy talking about how they can't get a woman than they do how to get a woman. Because complaining and stuff like that is fun. It's entertaining, it's exciting, man. Got that emotional roller coaster and all of that stuff. And a lot of people do that. That's why you meet people who just like to talk, or meet people who just like to argue all the time. And they don't care about the solution. Right now they just need some kind of motion going on, because it doesn't matter what you're doing, what you're saying, whatever causing your the flow to go through your body, it always feels good. When I told them another chat, I did tell them guys that, because there wasn't too many people, men and women, and I told them, and they started laughing. They started laughing when I told them, wait, no, no, no. In that big group, I told them. The smaller group, I don't think I told them. But the big group, I told them what the answer was, what to say, and they all started laughing. And I said, now that you know this, I think it was the big one or the little one, I'm not sure which one. But anyway, I said, now that you know this, you should have no problem talking to women. Just go up when you see her, walk over to her, ask this question. So I was in this other group, and this guys were like uh, talking to me and stuff. And I think one of them kind of challenged me, saying, "Oh, you don't know how to talk to a woman." And I said, "Yeah, just walk over and say hi." And he said, "Well, what do you do? How do I pick up a woman?" Well, actually, I said, "Oh, it's crazy. I got a woman back in the past. She said the last guy she was with didn't allow her to have a voice, and her family didn't allow her to have a voice. So when we talk about deep stuff, she shuts me down, and conversation converts." Yeah, that's yeah, actually, listening is one of my good traits. For people in the house, hello, thumbs up would be appreciated. Thank you very much. When I'm listening to people, when people talk, I listen. My mom, she's gone, but when my mom one day was in Hawaii, and she sat, asked me, she wanted to talk to me, and I listened to her for 4 hours straight. I listen to a lot of people, because I do understand that listening is a therapy, and that a lot of people need someone to listen to, because they got all this energy and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I can totally understand when a person wants to talk, this going back and forth conversation is not there. They want to talk, not have a conversation, and that's a big difference. But when what I told them is when guys start talking to women and start telling the women what they think, telling the women what they're thinking, which actually is what the men are thinking, then all that's going to do is just create 100% failure for you talking to a woman. It's just going to be over. Forget it. I mean, I think all the real max players, some do make a practice of complaining in speech, and it shows in their actions. Ineffectual approach. Inane. Okay. Women love optimism and confidence. Okay. I was at Triangle Park one day. I'm gonna tell you a couple of stories. It was really funny. So me and a friend of mine, we were sitting there in at Triangle Park in American Water, and there was some white people sitting next to us, and so we're talking. He started talking to one of them. I'm not really talking to him. We all start talking to him. I wasn't trying to make any conversations and stuff. And so as that night went on, him and one guy started talking about bitcoins and stuff, and he was trading information. The guy has a coin that I use called Safe Moon. It's kind of dropping down. Oh, okay, cool. And what happened was it was a lady there from England. He was from Ireland. She looked okay, but she just had this sphere. I mean, this semi-sphere, for a white woman. I was like, wow, I mean, literally almost seemed like you can just put a wine glass, up on the top part of her sphere. And so I was like really shocked. I didn't say anything to her. So we're sitting. I'm standing. My friend's sitting here. Her boyfriend's sitting here. He was a white guy. Dude was about maybe six. He looked like he was 6'4". I don't know how tall, but he was taller than I was. Very, he had a beard and all that stuff, clean shaven, muscular body, really a handsome guy. And had he been in the States, he would have easily been a 9 or a 10, easily, no problem at all. So I said to her, no, I didn't say to her, I asked him, I said, hey, is this your girl? He said, yeah. And then I looked at her and said, well, I guess I can't get your address. I mean, your line information. She straight says to me, wait, let me read this. Wow, okay, I see now you're making things clear now for me. It's kind of put me down. Ooh. Very clear for me. It kind of put me down and made me feel sad and not want to talk about anything. No, don't ever give up. It doesn't matter how sad you are. Women, whether you are trying to pick up one or whatever, they're cool to talk to. I grew up, my family was pretty much mostly women. The guys didn't really like me too much in Detroit. I don't know. Oh, because I was black. I was like black as this shirt. I mean, like right now, I'm like, if you take this color and double it, that's where I was, because I'm really pale compared to what it was in Detroit. And or yeah, I guess, or whatever. But anyway, I used to hang out. Thanks for the thumbs up. Okay, so I used to hang out with a lot of women, and well, little girls and stuff, because I was 10, they were that. And then when I turned 11, I moved to LA, and then in the schools, the women talked to me in elementary school, during high school. When I got to high school, in this PE class, this one white girl, really pretty. I mean, just stacked everything. I mean, like a brick house, very rich. And she would come, and I know I told the story 1,000 times. I'll sit, we're in the PE, we'll sit, she'll come on this side, and she just started kissing me on my cheek, and I was like, stop. I didn't push her away, but I just said, stop. Told the teacher, everybody laughed. We go through some comeback, she'll sit on this side, and she did that for the whole entire semester. And of course, some problems happened between this one white girl and a white dude. The white dude said something, she jumped on him. The white girl said something, I jumped on her. Not jumped on her, but I said something, to shut her down. She said something to shut him down. But for the whole semester, but at that time I was a virgin. I was a virgin until I was like 4 months before I turned 20. So I wasn't even thinking about sex. I wasn't even thinking she liked me. I wasn't even thinking nothing like that, because I was like so into Christianity. This boyfriend girlfriend thing just never even dawned on me. I just didn't. I just thought she was just being, I don't know what she was doing. But anyway, I never had a problem with women. So when I turned 17, I was dating this girl with no kissing or nothing, and she broke up with me. So she broke up with me. It was in Venice. I was crying. And if you ever go to Venice Beach, if you go up in the neighborhood, I used to live at 525 Broadway Avenue between 5th and 6th Street. Go check it out. That's where I pretty much spent most of my time. And then on between 6th and 7th Street in Indiana, those apartments they have on the north west side, I used to stay up in there, really beautiful times. And then on Westminster, 645 Westminster. But I was there for a short period. But anyway, I started crying, right? And thanks for your transparency. Make sure you finish your story about the 6'5" girl. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And so she broke up with me. I'm crying. 30 minutes into crying, I asked myself, why am I crying? And then the answer was because the big homie said that's what they did when they broke up with their girl. And I'm like, wait a minute, I have nothing to cry for about. So I stopped. Then it hit me, oh my God, now I understand this thing about women. I understood, and from there I had no problems with women. Finishing the story, I looked at her, I said, I guess I can't get your line contact. She says to me, and there's a lot of people there, only two girls, everybody else white. She said, "Oh, you don't want to sleep with me?" And I don't know if her boyfriend, because everybody was drinking. My friend heard it, I heard it, and I'm like, "Oh boy!" But I thought she said you don't want to get with me or something. But she didn't say that. So I'm like, okay, and I'm like tripping, and I'm not saying anything. I'm doing a line. Then I'm standing here. She comes right next to me. She had this yellow skin type dress that just showed all her curves. She comes stand next to me and start doing like this. Return on the Mac, return on the Mac. And I'm sitting there getting this information. I'm like, I don't believe this. But before that happened, maybe an hour, um, if you ever been at Triangle Park, where everybody's selling this big platter, what happened was it's not that much space for people to walk, and there were people standing on the steps. So I wanted to go by everybody. So I said to the guys, I said, "Excuse me, I need to go to the store. I don't feel like walking down the stairs and going like wrong, so I want to go through." She comes in, she's like, "Well, you ain't gonna get through. You got to go through me." And that was the first. Oh yeah, Jack, definitely take that place out at nighttime. And that was the first encounter of her making the move on me. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I supposed to do this? And I said, okay, I'm a great patient. I'll just wait. So I just stood there, just wait till she moved. And she was like that for about a good minute or so, and then she let me by. And then the second thing that happened. Then the next day, I was talking to this retired police officer, and out right down the street, he was with his girlfriend. And so we're talking this stuff, and we're just talking about just different things. And the next thing you know, his girlfriend, he's taller than I am, his girlfriend starts singing, Return of the Mac, Return of the Mac, start this. And I'm like, and I look at my friend and we're like, what happened? Why these women are saying this? Then when we went back to that place and we were listening to music, the police came and told us to turn it off. Behind us was a club. The club, I guess it opened up, and outside they had some speakers, and the first song they played was Return of the Mac. And I'm thinking like, oh my God, it's just a message to me. So basically, what I'm saying is, first of all, it would be wise returning the Mac. Yeah, yeah, I couldn't believe it. And then I think I was playing in my car, and I stopped talking to some white guys, and they're the ones who told me he was English. I didn't even know it. But anyway, the whole thing is, I was talking to a friend. We did a thing about feminism. Good to see you. Thank you, gamer. Okay, interested gamer. Yes, it's good to see you too. Oh, you know what? I can't believe I never did that. I'm gonna add you as a moderator. Okay, so anyway, like I'm special. Like I get a lot of people on here. But anyway, we were talking about feminism, and I told him I didn't want to talk about it. Oh, let's talk about it, let's talk about it, let's talk about it. I'm like, okay. And so I'm listening to what he says, and yeah, it's funny. And so I was like, okay, go ahead. He's talking, and then he asked me a question. I gave him an answer. Then I asked him. I said, feminism isn't it about women and what they're thinking? And he was like, yeah. I said, why does the man care about what a woman thinks? And especially in their mind. You know, it's not like you walk up to her, oh, excuse me, what are you thinking in your mind? You know, in that terms. You know, I can understand they have their concerns. But I mean, in their minds, are they talking, why are you interested in that? I don't see the value of a guy sitting around talking about what women talking about with each other. We got our own conversations. They got their own conversations. It's just a waste of time. You know, oh, you know, it's this toxic masculinity stuff. And I'm like, the word toxic just mean bad. Thank you, 5 years in the house. The word toxic being a simp. He said, I told him the word toxic means bad. White people use the word toxic. Black people use no good, no damn good, or whatever, you know. But when I was kind of, you wouldn't hear that word. I mean, of course, you know, I lived on both sides, so I understand their vocabulary. I understand the black vocabulary, and of course, people go to college and they start picking up this word toxic because it makes it seem better. But I'm like, the way they're talking about this toxic masculinity, especially when I hear these men talk about that, it makes it seem like it's worse than it is. Well, they saying toxic men are toxic and blah 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 and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, sure, there are a whole bunch of bad men, you know. Everybody's bad. Everybody done something. You got your bus make sure you was bad. It's not a big thing. They're mad because they can't. The philosophy of women is not a priority for our men. Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's not a priority for men. It is a priority for them, but to the point where we need to discuss it, to the point where you're discussing what they're saying, and we don't have. Thanks for the thumbs up, but we don't take the time to discuss the things that we want to say because every time a guy open up his mouth and want to talk about building something between men and help us with our problems that we have, someone always got to bring up something about a woman, you know, and it's like, well, if you want to talk about women, go sit at the women's table. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong because actually I used to sit at a women's table when I worked in Hawaii at what was that, Sunset Grill. And first I sat with the guys, mostly white guys, maybe one Asian. Their conversation was so stupid, I couldn't believe it. So the next day I sat with the women, and them women, they were all fine, you know. And the president, I think his girlfriend was there too. She was really beautiful Asian woman. And so the guys looked over at me and said, "Oh, why are you sitting there with a bunch of women?" And I looked at him and I said, "Well, why are you sitting over there with a bunch of guys?" And the women started on laughing. And they got mad. I know they wanted to do something, but they couldn't whoop me. They know they couldn't whoop me. So they just had to deal with it, you know. But the whole thing is, you know, if you guys are talking about this with women, hey, let women talk what they want to talk about because the more they talk about it, you know what I'm saying? That's just their problems. Nice, thank you. Oh, let's see, spirited today. And so let them talk about what they talk about because we have our own issues as men, or you know, whether, and I can go and say especially black men, but all men have problems in their own communities because very few men are respected in their own communities. Very few men are respected. You know what I'm saying? And so once we finished that conversation, that was it. We didn't have any more conversation. Just shut it down, you know, because I like to just get to the solution and stuff. But why is it that guys have problems picking up women? Well, one thing is because a lot of guys aren't honest about what they want. When you want to pick up a woman, especially this PUA thing, what do you want? You know, more than likely it's just sex. You know, and it's not going to be no relationship. It's just going to be sex and spend a week or two with it and then move on to the next one, move on to the next one, which a lot of women do. A lot of people do that, and there's nothing wrong. But when you talking to these new guys coming into the game, or these guys who take on other people's conversations and then apply it to themselves or project it on themselves, then it makes the problem worse for them. So basically, I'm just like, hey, uh, let those women talk about what they want. We talk about what we want. Then when we get together, let them talk. You talk. If there's disagreements, then that's a beautiful thing because the one thing it's gonna tell you is in that group, Let's see. Women speaking a stream of thought, men get straight to the point. Ah, okay, let me jump and say that. Okay, no. Actually, I'm going to let me say you're wrong. That's not true. We all think the same. We all pretty much have the same thoughts. We all are not perfectly competent or professional in our thoughts. And I think one damaging thing, like I said, when guys are always saying what women are thinking or how they like, women are like this, but these women are saying, no, we're not like that. And so one day I was talking to a guy, he wanted to argue with me. I said, there are women who got billions of dollars. Do you have billions of dollars? I said, no. There's a whole bunch of women who got PhD. Do you have a PhD? No. There's a lot of women who got their own cars, got this. Do you have any of that? They said, no. I said, then maybe what you need to do is go to that woman, ask her what does she do to get those possessions, and then you go do those, get at her level, and then start talking all this stuff that you're talking, because by the time you get to her level, you're not going to even, that's not even going to be a part of your conversation. And he said, oh, you're wrong because of this and that, or whatever he was saying, just some really silly stuff. And I said, listen, the point is this. Women that, Thanksgiving, okay, thank you. How long have you been watching my videos? If it's been a while, then if you're an OG, I'll make you admin. But what I told him was, right, and when I told him, what's this? What you're doing is not helping you get her. The quickest way to get a woman, other than that thing what I said about looking at women as soon as they see you, they're decided and all of that stuff. The quickest way to get a woman other than that is when you see her walk up and put your hand out or say, come on, let's go. Other than that, if you don't want to put any work, just listen. Because a lot of women will talk you into bed. A lot of, well, I'll say it again. You listen to a woman, a lot of them will talk you into the bed with them. Because all that talking, that emotions, they getting wet and everything, you know, because it's just a natural thing for women to do that. Just like I had the same conversation with some guys, oh, that's not true. I said, well, when you yarn, don't you get an erection sometimes? So you get that feeling down there? And they all started laughing. And I'm like, see, that's the point. You guys are sitting here, excuse me, you guys are sitting here talking about all these things about women that are negative, but you are experiencing the same things. As a matter of fact, a lot of you not even aware of the same things that they're talking about, that you're experiencing the same things that they're talking about. So, oh, and so it was something else I was saying. So this one guy, I went to Kyoto to help this one white guy to help him get his game up. And Tokyo Sam told me about it, was like many years ago. And so I walk over to him, he about, yeah, hi. I'm listening to what you're saying, been watching your videos for only, oh, okay, I'm gonna make you a moderator. Because the OGs are all mods. Okay. Okay, I feel you on that. I'm going to take that advice. And so, yeah, that's good. You know, when you let them talk about what they want, if we want to fix our issues, we got to talk about our issues, you know. So I walked over to him, he's about yay tall, skinny white dude. And he said, oh, you think you can pick up women? I'm like, no, I don't think. I know I can. You know, he straight up asked me, he said, what do you do? And I said, well, I just walk up to a woman and I said, first, you know, they have to be, you haven't been wrong yet. I trust in your advices, always help me. Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I told him, I said, first of all, I got to tell you some rules. Women who are, you know, the scale from 1 to 10, which is BS, but that's what we use. The ones from 1 to 6, when I was in the States or wherever I went around the world, they would not talk to me. The ones who are beautiful from 7 to 10, it was just really just like that, right? So I said, what I do is I walk up to a woman and I ask her, are you beautiful? And he said, that's a stupid question. I said, it might be. And he said, well, what did they say? I said, there's 3 answers, 3 situations. First one, they'll say yes, and if they say yes, then I'll ask them for their contact. If they say no, I don't ask them for their contact. And then you have the third situation, you have some women, you ask them, well, why do you ask me, am I beautiful? And then I went back. Beautiful women give me their context. The ones who don't think they're beautiful don't give me their context. And she was like, oh, okay. And I said, are you beautiful? And I asked her again. She said, yes. I said, okay, let me give you context. Bam, just like that. She gave it to me, even though she was married, was in Kyoto and everything. We talked a few times. But me, when I talk to a lot of women, yeah, when I talk to a lot of women, I don't really talk to sleep with them and stuff because, I know just because you can have a good conversation and then have sleep with a woman and then that interaction, you know, sometimes things change and stuff, And actually, the first time I even mentioned that about the beautiful thing, I was in the military at Saracosa Community College. It's in Kern, but it was on base, giving classes. And we were sociology class, and the problem came up, and everybody's talking about beauty and all this stuff and how people match. I said, hey, listen, beautiful people date beautiful people, and people who don't think they're beautiful date people who they don't think beautiful. And when I said that, man, the whole class erupted on me, blah, 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 blah. And then the teacher said, stop, stop. What he's saying is exactly right. There's been, studies about that. So, uh, so what I tell guys, so when I told him that, the guy was like, I want to see it. I said, fine, go ahead. So he, I said, you pick any woman that you think is fine. So, like I said, she came in and stuff happened, her story happened like that. And it happened another, I got this video called PUAs, and I'm not sure if you guys watched that. Are you beautiful? What a great chest. And I was talking to these three pickup artists, white, two were white, one was um, Japanese. They all spoke very good English. One of the white guys was following me around when I was talking to the different women in the club and stuff. And so we went outside and I was like, why were you following me around? He said, man, I like the way you move. I've never seen anybody move the way you were and talk to so many women, And I'm like, well, isn't it normal to talk to women? So and I was walking again, I ran into him again. And his other two friends didn't know me, the Japanese dude and the other French guy. So they started getting in my case and stuff. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. And they were like, oh, you can't get no women, blah, blah, blah. We got this game and everything. And I'm looking at them like, okay. And so I asked them all. The first one, the one who had the most game, I said, when you talk to a woman, after you talk to a woman, you get her number. How long after that do you plan on having, sleeping with her? He said 3 to 4 days. The other guy said like 6 to 8 days, and the Japanese guy said 2 weeks. And I, was, maintain my composure. And when the Japanese guy said what he said, I started laughing. I said, "Do you think a woman's her vagina is going to be wet for 2 to 4 days waiting for you, or for you 6 to 8 days, or for you 2 weeks?" I said, "You know how many guys out there trying to smash them, and they trying to get smashed? You're not going to see her again." They said, "Well, what do you do?" I said, "You know, it don't matter to me. It's not the point." I said, "I tried it the first day or the second day. It don't matter, But I just want to understand how you guys do it." And they was like, "Oh, you just don't have any game." I said, "No, no, no. I got game. I can get numbers. That's nothing." And they said, "Well, we want to see." As soon as they said that, there's this club called Jules. Two Japanese women came out. One was this tall. One was about this tall. Both had nice memory glands, nice bodies. So I walked over to the tall one and I said, "Hey, are you beautiful?" 4 viewers in the house. I said, "Hey, are you beautiful?" She said, "No." That's okay. And I said, "Well, can I get a hug?" She said, "Yeah." When she hugged me, oh, it was really grip, really tight grip, and my chest pressed into her mammary glands, and I felt it was like kind of hard. I was like, "Wow, okay," but I wasn't expecting that. So then the other one I found out later, she was a manager. She came out and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" She said, "Fine." I said, "Are you beautiful?" She said, "Yeah." And she was like, "Why you asked that?" I said, "Because beautiful and give me the context." And she said, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Well, let me get your line." She said, "Well, just give me your Facebook," because at that time Facebook was becoming more popular than it was kind of more popular than line. And first plus to build up her followers. So I said, "Fine." So we did the exchange to Facebook thing. Of course, I never called her, or contacted her, and she never contacted me either, or if she did, I don't remember, but I don't think so. But anyway, She gave me her information. I said, "Can I get a hug?" She said, "Yeah." Gave me this big old hug, and this happened in 5 minutes in front of those three PUAs. And then the women left. I walked over and I said, "Bam, that's all I do." Man, them guys were like just so shocked and everything. Like, well, I got to go, and so I left. But the problem is, it's really there is no problem. First of all, when you see a woman, what do you want from her? You know, you gotta know what it is. More than likely, guys want to sleep with a woman. Well, when you talk to a woman, it's like making a paragraph. When you write an essay, you have a paragraph. You gotta get to the point. You gotta get to the point because a lot of women might want to sleep with you too, but if she like, oh, I'm just waiting for him to ask me to go to his house or go wherever because she's saying because I know guys they're really bold and um, they like to chase but right in front of them too confidence and optimism. Oh, um, I was talking to this white guy at Triangle Park, me and a friend. I don't know how we got in this conversation. My friend, he's a little shorter than me, dark. He was brown skin and caramel color. Got the whatever kind of yoked a little bit. So he's a handsome guy. Most people looked at him, always compliment him on his physique. Me, I'm dark. I look more African. Well, out here, a lot of people say I look more African than I do American. I'm like, okay, like I'm supposed to be embarrassed about it. But a lot of American brothers think I'm African and stuff. And um, so he come and start talking about this game to me and stuff. And he's talking about his game and that stuff and talking about how much confidence he had. And I'm just listening to him, because I know what the word confidence means. And as he's making his head bigger and bigger, I'm like, man, stop. You kind of making me sick. You're like, what? I said, do you even know what the word confidence means? Yeah, it means this. And I'm like, no, it don't. Yes, it does. I said, no, it doesn't. The word confidence means to believe in something that doesn't exist. Because he was trying to, because he was, I don't know, for some reason, maybe he was there the other day or whatever. And he's trying to say that he has more confidence and he can get more women than me. But I'm 6 foot, almost 6'2". Hey, what's up, correspond pianist. Oh, hey, what's up, man? Okay, here. Let me make you a moderator too. So anyway, that guy met him out here in Japan. He's a really cool guy. So he's coming to me trying to make like he's a better player than I am, which I don't care. But the way he was talking to me, it was just a situation where I could not just ignore him because usually I ignore guys. Thanks for the 6 thumbs up. So I told him the word confidence means to, you're welcome. All right, thank you, you're welcome. Oh, my pleasure, I guess. When I told him that confidence means to believe in something that's not there, because he was fighting, I'm saying, are you listening to what I'm saying? You saying you have confidence you can do this, but there's no such thing as confidence because, you can have the confidence, but confidence means to believe in something that's not there. So that's like you looking over there and you see a $1 million on the table. Oh, I got confidence $1 million on the table. And you walk over there and you just start picking it up, because you're whatever kind of imagination. So when he finally understood what I was saying, then I told him the word is not confidence. The word is competence. It's like, well, I won't say that. But anyway, yeah, you know how blacks going back and forth with the slavery stuff, and they're using restitution and reparations. Well, there's a very big difference, a very big difference, and a lot of people really don't understand that restitution is probably, I think it's, yeah, from the saying restitution is, you rather have restitution than reparations. And so when I told them about the competent, I said, when I walk up to a woman, I am competent. I know. The word competent means to know. I know what I'm doing. I know what to expect. I am not worried about that because I already know what I'm going to say. I'm not going to walk up to a woman and say, okay, I got confidence in what to say and I got confidence. No, it just totally makes zero sense. So then when I said that, he kept in front of his friend, he gave it up, the confidence, he changed to competence, but I told him don't change, just keep using that word because when you use the word competence, you have to it'll put you up on a higher, more intellectual level. And if you're here and you're trying to, it's like me trying to explain multiplication and division to a bunch of 3-year-old Japanese kids. I mean, how many of you guys think I can do that? I mean, so it's kind of silly. I mean, I actually can do it, and I have done it, and I can prove it. But I mean, to the normal person, they're like, huh? You know what I'm saying? So um, then after that, he started coming and started shooting game. He learned a game that he listens to and stuff. Well, you need this, and I'm like, nope, you ain't gonna win. And because he's trying to get back at me, trying to, I knocked him out. I mean, I just totally knocked him out what I'm saying. So he's trying to, get that, get his little whatever back. And so I told him everything that he said. I said, no, it's much simpler. There's something else. It don't matter what you look like. It don't matter how much money you have. There's one thing you need to do that will just open the whole playing field for you, open it up for you. He couldn't think about it. He's going back and forth. My friend's laughing because my friend, competence, the ability to do something successfully and efficiently. Yes, that's what it is. And so my friend's laughing because he knows because I told him. And as soon as the dude, I said, no, 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 no. We're going back. I'm waiting about 10 minutes, give him ample time. And I said, no. The first thing the number one thing that you need to do when it comes to women is you got to show up. If you don't show up, you ain't gonna get nothing because there's nothing there. It could be 1,000 women out there in the park, but if you don't show up, you can be at home. I wish I can get a girl and blah blah blah, and it could be 1,000 girls at the park waiting for you. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't show up, nothing's happening. When I told him that, dude just almost died. He was like, oh my God. His friends just started laughing. And me and my friends started laughing. Oh my God, right? That makes so much sense. And I'm like, yeah. And I said, all I do is show up. I know women are going to talk to me. I'm not even worrying about it. I know guys are going to, when I walk outside, I know they're going to talk to me. Actually, in Japan, when I go into the clubs, I'll walk in. I walk in the clubs, and the first thing I do is I walk in the club, walk in the door, I stop and I go, what's up, just 250 JP in the house. Of course it's loud, nobody can hear me, except for whoever's at the door, but they don't care because they're drunk. But that's what I do. Hey, I'm announcing, I'm here now. If everyone don't announce they're here, okay, fine, but let me get this energy out. Let me get this dead air that's in me. Let me get lived up and let me get the juices flowing. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I do. So, like I said, I tell a few people that and stuff. So how do you get a girl? Well, first of all, like I said, you got to know what you want because there are guys who do want to be with a girl. A lot of them do want to smash, but a lot of dudes. There are actually guys who want to talk to a girl just to play out some crazy fantasy in their minds about what they're thinking about women are. So, um, let's say a guy walk up to a girl. I think this happened once, and I'm not sure. One of the gold digger videos and stuff. And I'm not sure if it was scripted or not. But this lady came out. He walked over and started talking to her, and there was a couple of them. And she was feeling the dude. She had her kind of found out at the end of the video. She had her own money and everything. The only thing that kind of make it seem scripted was because he had a blue, what's the Maserati, and then she came out in a 4x4 Maserati, and they both were the same color. So it sounded like okay, but still the whole thing is actually true. He went over there. She said, "No, I'm cool. I'm single. Yeah, I like you." But he's trying to get her to play that gold digger role and all of this stuff. And can I have your number? She was like, yeah. She just gave it to him and everything. Well, a lot of guys don't go out when they go out and talk to a girl. I mean, a woman. They are not expecting that. They're going out with the intention to start a conversation and then just ruin the conversation, by whatever means it is. Like when I walked over to those two women I told you when I was talking to 3 PUAs, pickup artists and stuff. I went over there, got to the point. I just wanted to stay contacts, but I know for me, if a woman's beautiful, she's gonna give it to me. If not, she won't. And I got to that point, and that was it. But a lot of guys, they just go out and they take all these thoughts to these guys on these, they're talking, oh, women this, women that, women that. And then when they go and they realize that a lot of those things that they're saying, women don't even be thinking about that stuff. And then when they probably with you, maybe with me, they might be thinking like that. But if they're with you, they're probably thinking like, hey, I want to get with this guy. But because the guys don't understand, they go over there with the intention on proving what they think a woman thinks, and they trying to get her to play it out, and it don't work. And that's how a lot of guys, just miss out. And I see that a lot, and I'm thinking, I love how you announce your energy in the club, but what does that? Oh, okay. This here PDL, I made some videos a long time ago, and it's called programming. Was it programming, encoding, delivery, execution, and override? Basically, I think there's 6 videos, 6 parts, so that's one is the longest one. Because actually, I only made 5, but one of my viewers knew I wasn't finished and pretty much twist my arm behind my back and told me to make it. So I made it. But basically, it tells you about how to think. Pretty much what I was saying over here. How a guy, he's thinking this, but she's thinking this, and how do you how does how does the thought process works without the thought processes works or whatever. How does it work? It teaches you how it works. Well, I talk about how it works so you don't have to do that. Okay, I got to go back to watch the LOL. Didn't mean to interrupt. No, please. If you got something important to say it, because this video is just being made. It's just being made. Because of what my friend was talking about. And so basically, wow. So this video talks about it and it explains it. It's very long. If I were you, I would just watch it. Don't try to comprehend. Just comprehend what you can comprehend. Don't go back and study. Just watch it all the way through once, and then if you want to really understand, go back through it again. Because sometimes I listen to it and I'm like, oh, where did that come from? Because I do, be kind of shocked, like, whoa, and then of course I have been watching my own videos, so I go back and watch and like, oh wow, okay, that's some good information, because actually somebody said, why you make so many videos? I'm like, well, most of that stuff on there, like on my Facebook channel, most of that stuff on there is for me. So when I'm weak, I can go back and look at it and get some inspiration, because we all, fall at some time. But basically, what is it that you want? Guys, a lot of guys don't go out to actually get women. They go out to actually prove their theory or whatever. It's what's that? Incel men going something their way or something like that. I don't know, make tower or something like that. And then they come out with this red pill, the blue pill, the green pill, and all of this stuff. And I never really got into it, but I actually asked one person in the group to tell me what it was. And when he told me, I just laughed. I was like, and the people in the group, they were mad. And so I'm like, nah, this is what it is. And I explained it to him. And when I explained it to him, I forgot the exact words. I wish I could record it. But the way I explained it to him, it was like it just destroyed all of that stuff, like. So anyway, guys are out to prove that these theories that other guys think about how women are right. So you can have it's like a guy can see a woman, she'll walk over to him and say, hey, I want to be with you, come to my house and do this. And, a guy would like, well, no, because you're like this, you're like this. The woman ain't there to explain, her philosophy. She want to get busy and she want to be with you, and they don't do it. And it's like how these guys, used to say a long time, and I'm sure they still do it now. They walk over to a girl, she rejects them, but then when a woman walks over to him, he'll reject her. I'm like, why don't you go home? Well, I don't know what she's been doing. She might have some disease. And when all the guys that always say that to me, I'm like, wait a minute, but when they reject you, you get upset. But think about it. you are putting your flawless inside of her. You know, she has more to lose than you do. You're going up in her body. She's not going up in your body. So if there's anything to be gross about it, it would be you trying to go up into her. You know, and when I explain it properly, a lot of the guys laugh and stuff. But it's really interesting how how can you say that? How a lot of people just so it's funny. It's like how a lot of people just be into their own fantasies about all of this stuff instead of trying to get to the problem. So now, you know, a lot of guys are, you know, they're doing good, but you know, back in the days when some guys are like paying $2,000 going to these seminars to learn to talk to a woman, you know, you're very, you really dropped a lot of gems, and even you get surprised when you get to smile. Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny. And so a long time ago, you know, they're doing this, and they still doing it now. You know, you got people on there talking about how to pick up women. Um, it's just really interesting because the pickup game, I believe, started with the brothers in the States. And, you know, back in the slave days, the old movies, you know, I don't, I don't know, I don't remember seeing any other movies where the guys are actually trying to pick up women, you know, Fonzie and stuff, but I think that I'm not sure. I want to say it was could have been a black thing that inspired that because a lot of movies are inspired by a lot of black people, but then they're inspired by a lot of white people, inspired by a lot of things and events around the world also. But I'm thinking the Mac gang, brothers, you know, and then you got all these other people trying to teach all these other people how to Mac. And it was funny because I was watching. Well, I wasn't watching. Someone asked me to watch a clip or something, and it was a white guy. It was so funny. It was a white guy talking about the red, blue, green pill or black pill, whatever color those. I'll just say, um, what's the colors? Strawberry and red, white, and blue. I'll just say that. So I guess the red would be the max, the blue is the middle, and the white's the guys that just have no chance. And so it was a white guy that made the video. He used two videos that two black men said to support the strawberry one, which is the Mac. And then he used a white guy's video and applied them to the other one. And then you got all these guys just trying to tell people how to Mac and stuff. And it's cool. It really is no cool. You know, they're making their money doing they want to find it's cool. But I was just thinking like, because some friends were telling me about these other guys from these other nations, you know, doing it. And I'm like, I can understand if you guys are all trying to Mac. Okay, we should ever use double standards. I feel you on that. Yeah, it's really interesting. And I understand if you're using white women to do the pickup game or that, you know what I'm saying, when you give advice. But when you give a guys advice to give guys the Mac and game, and you know, it just depends on what nationality they're from, what they look like and stuff. You know, I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if these guys actually went out and Mac to a sister. I mean, you know, black women from the United States, if they actually went out and tried macking to a sister. And I'm not talking about those, you know, those sisters in college, you know what I'm saying, and all of that stuff. You know, it's just getting out of high school and stuff like that. I'm talking about a real woman that's 28, 29, 30s, you know what I'm saying? One of them real women, you know, it's just from the hood that just, you know what's up. You know, do they ever actually go up and talk to them? You know, when I was in the States, you know, I had a lot of women, a lot of sisters approach me and things like that. Just by the way I carried myself. I wasn't rich or anything. But a lot of them were older than me and stuff, you know, 1 year, not that much, but 1 year, maybe 2 years, whatever. And the conversations were like, wow, you know, because they'll come up to me talking. I don't know if they were trying to mac or anything, but when I opened my mouth and the things that came out of my mouth, especially as I got a little older and stuff, and when I came back from that 3-year vacation in Thailand, that served in the military, It was just really, let's see.
There's a movie called How to Be a Player with Bill Bellamy. Funny movie. Check it out. How to Be a Player. Okay.
I need to write that down because I'm definitely going to forget. How to be a player. Oh, that's interesting you said that because a lot of guys want to pick up women, they want to be players. And I tell them, the guy who actually get a lot of women, they're not players, you know. And actually, it was funny too. This one guy, I was in this one room, and he said, "Well, what's?" I said, "They're slamming women, you know, because they're using women as an excuse for their failures." And then I said, "Well, you know, you got to." I said, "Well, then you need to go listen to," because they were about their father wasn't there, and I'm like, "Your father is not the person to teach you how to talk to women. Your mommy is. Your mom is a woman. She know more about women, way more about women. Your mother knows way more about women than your father does, you know." And so the guy, he was saying something stupid, and let's see what was I gonna say. Um, he was saying something stupid, and gosh, I can't remember what my thought was. Let me see, how to be a player. Yeah. So I told him that you don't need to be a player. I said the player, because he, you know, he's trying to slam me. Oh, well, what's a player? I said a player is just a person who's playing in the game of life. You know, that life is a game. We all know that. You know, and just shut them down. I said you don't have to be a player. All you got to do is show up. I said the one thing a real Mac, a real player knows that there's only one thing you need to do and one thing only. And if there are women out there, you do this, and women who want you, you will get those women. And that one thing is just show up. And I was talking to some friends, we were walking, you know, down in Osaka, and I tell them, they said, when you want to back to a woman, what do you do? I said, I just stop and lean against the wall. And they're like, why? That's stupid. I said, huh?
I said, wow, I wanted the same thing. Okay, so I'm talking and everything. I'm sorry, I forgot. What is it that you wanted? Because
As I'm talking, it goes through and it disappears and I forget. Because my mind is like really full. But you gotta tell me what is it that you want. But they said, well, what, you know, what do you do? I said, I stand against the wall. And they said, that's stupid. Why'd you do that? And I said, why isn't it? And they said, no, I don't see. You should just keep walking. I said, because
let's say a black man practiced celibacy before marriage. Could the pickup game work for him as a long-term relationship?
oh man, you talking about Japanese women and listen, Japan, the East and the West are different. In the West, Jesus says if you have sex outside of marriage, you're going to hell. In the East, Buddha says do whatever you want to do. You know, don't hurt people, but get out there, do what you do to have fun because everyone's going to heaven. In Japan, sex is a natural thing. So these women are actually out there having sex, a lot of sex with a lot of people and stuff like that because they love it. A lot of, I remember I was in this work group and everyone there, like all Christians and everything, they tell me, you know, they all Christian, whatever, quote unquote holy and all that stuff, and I tell them that and they just start laughing and stuff. But yeah, out here sex is, I mean, you can literally walk down the street. I gotta exercise, but you can literally walk down the street and see a woman that you want to be with and just do it like this. And if she wants you, she'll grab your hand and you take her wherever you want. Just don't say anything till you finish doing whatever you know y'all supposed to do. Because a lot of guys they talk and just ruin the whole situation and stuff. Um, you can do this, or you can walk up and say, "Come on, let's go." And if they say where, what's your next statement? You know, well for me it's gonna be someplace where just the two of us can go. You know, be alone. And they're like, all right. You know, one of my friends who was in Osaka and he was talking to this one Japanese girl. She was tall. I think she was kind of taller.
That is really the true mom. That is really true, mom. No, I know your mom.
I mean, when you're at home, you live with your mom. What she always tell you, don't be with that girl and this girl and this girl, and you know. And then everybody say, oh, when my father was at home, he didn't teach me how to
you know, how to get a woman. Well, why would you want to learn how to learn from your father? Not to be disrespectful, but you know, and even you know, my father tried to talk to him too. And but the whole thing is, why would you want to learn how to learn from your father to pick up a woman when he picked up your mom, but he's not there? You know what I'm saying? Evidently something happened. You know, and it kind of sounds kind of messed up. I'm trying to make a joke out, but it didn't come out right. But basically, why would you want your father to teach you about women when you know he doesn't have the game complete himself? Basically, is what I was saying. And I said your mom was there, you know, and he was like, and of course I had to explain it to him and explain it to him and explain it to him. You know, it took a while, you know, and he, you're right though. Yeah, and it took him a while for him to comprehend what I was saying. I'm saying because when you look at your mom, the first thing you're gonna do is say, "Oh, when I grow up, you're gonna." When you look at your mom, there's two statements everyone says. Two statements. If you can tell them both, I'll send you $5 right now to your PayPal account. You got. It's right now 7:36. Oh wait, okay, you got 30 seconds. So it's, whoa, dropped my iPad on the floor, and it didn't crack, so I'm all good. Okay, so you got 30 seconds, and if you tell me what they both are, I'll send you $5 to your PayPal account. I don't have all that cash apps, so otherwise you have to fly to Japan and I'll give it to you. But anyway, yeah, just those two things. And a lot of guys, what they need to understand is that when the father's not home, the woman, the daughter suffers because she doesn't get to see how a man is, you know. Because I was in this one group and these guys were like, "Oh, you're wrong, and I need a man in the house." And I'm like, "What do you mean you need a man? You walk outside, there's men. You go to school, there's men." I said, "How often did your father actually discipline you? You're in school 8 hours. 8 hours. You got that principal disciplining. You got those male teachers disciplining. You got them gangbangers that you scared of disciplining you. You got the bullies disciplining you. You go outside, the winos are, and the other guys are disciplining you. And the police, they discipline you and everything. So you're getting a lot of male contact, a lot of male discipline, a lot of male attention. So what are you talking about?" And when I said that, they got upset. These guys get upset, you know. And I've been kicked out of a couple of rooms, you know, for, you know, exposing the obvious. So the two things is, what was the question? You guys got to ask me the questions. What was the question? I asked you guys the question. I forgot. There's two things. If a father isn't home, the daughter suffers. Golden nugget. Yes, that is so true. What are those two things? Oh, I forgot the question. I guess I got to move to Japan. Oh man, listen, you come out here to Japan, the relationships out here, they're good, you know, but the wife is end up going to be the boss. They play a psychological game till they beat the man down. So what I tell guys, when you come to Japan, you find a woman who's from a rich family, and she's beautiful. And you start at the top, you stay at the top, make your own money. You have to make another Japanese woman friend. Don't sex, nothing, because you might need her and she will help you make $1 billion. But the minute you kiss her, that's it. She's gonna be trying to put you in her pocket, you know what I'm saying? And other than that, you know, make sure you have your own income. The two questions went past me too. What were they about? I would have to go back in the video and watch. I totally forgot what they were. Oh, that's bad. That is so bad. But it's so obvious too. No more than 4 words each sentence. Oh, I can't remember what it was. Sorry, my bad. Bad host, bad host. Everybody push the dislike buttons. The thumbs down buttons. Okay, so anyway, basically, the whole thing is, what do you want to do? If you want to sleep with a woman, it's all good, Ralph. We talked about so much. Oh, okay. Well, okay, you'll have to. That is so true. Thank you. So first, what do you want? If it's sex, really, you guys, it just depends on where you are. It really shouldn't be too hard to get sex from a woman because there are a lot of women who are looking up at you. And this guy right here, he needs to stop, turn around, and go and get these women. And see, it'll be him in a nice big 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 star with all these beautiful women having a bikini party. You see what I'm saying? Because it don't matter what they look like. Like when everybody's having fun, they're having fun. And if it's some thick ones, all you gotta do is go to the gym and help them lose weight. But you know what it is. She might be a little thick. You might, oh, she too thick. You get her in shape, and she all skinny, and then you were like, oh my God, you know, it's like, oh man, I liked her better when she was bigger. You know what I'm saying? But it really doesn't matter. But number two is just get to, I think it was get to the point. And one, get to the point. Number two, how do you address her? For me, you know, all I have to do is show up. Every time I show up, women come, you know, especially out here. I'm in the States, I had it a few times. I went to a friend of mine, what's his name? I forgot, Tricky something. And he's a real cool Egyptian friend. We went to some restaurant in Hollywood. You know, we eating oysters. He paid for everything. It was like $100 for lunch. And it was his sister, beautiful sister, with this white dude. They probably were dating or married. And I'm sitting here. So let's say I'm sitting here. She's sitting maybe on this side. Oh no, she's sitting on this side, but kind of behind me. And my friend is saying, that black lady, she's looking at you. Black women in LA, they don't look at black men. And I'm like, you know, yeah, okay. And he said, no, I'm serious. They really don't look at black men when they're out, especially when they're with white men and stuff. And she's looking. So I turned and looked. And when I turned and looked, she didn't even turn her head. She's just staring at me. So I'm thinking like, maybe she saw me in my Do You Love Black Men video. She said, nah. He said, no, it's different. So I'm talking, and he must have told me she was staring like 5 or 6 times and stuff. And I was like, wow, I wonder what her, you know, husband or whatever was thinking and stuff like that. But I do remember I was in, it's a different story, kind of situation, but the same thing happened. I saw a sister and a white dude out in Osaka City. And I hadn't seen sisters like her, I mean, a real grown woman. So I walked over to him. I said, excuse me, are you two married? He said, yeah. I said, man, I said, listen, I'm so sorry. It's been a while since I've seen a mature black woman. You mind if I just have a conversation? You can join, whatever. And he was like, all right. And they both looked at each other like I was crazy and started laughing. And we just started chit-chatting and stuff, you know. All three was chit-chatting, you know, for about a good 3-4 minutes. And I said, okay. I said, thanks, man. I hope I didn't seem rude, but thanks, you did me a favor, you know. I know. And I just walked off, you know, and I know they were, I don't know, man, but I don't know, that was funny, you know. And it's kind of, well, I got a bunch of those stories, but that's not the point. But anyway, so when you walk up to the woman, you know, number one, what do you want? Number two, what's your approach? Number three, understand immediately whether or not how long you're going to be able to engage in a conversation with this woman. Some guys sit over there and they talking to the woman for 20 years and don't can't stop because they're just so into the flow of just talking. They psyching themselves out in their mind, saying like, hey, I'm the Mac, and she like being patient, because she ain't got nothing to do anyway, so she might as well be entertained and stuff like that. Because there are some guys that can get in and get out. I'm one of them guys that'll just get in and get out, because I'm always doing things and stuff. And so you need to really understand how you're going to engage it. And I think after that, it's just once you start dating, then that is a whole different thing, because she's going to want to control you, you're going to want to control her. How do you guys both talk to each other? Is there respect? Is there not respect? I remember I had a girlfriend and I was staying at her house. Well, because she always telling me to stay there and stuff. And it's like a long time ago in Nagoya and stuff. And I wasn't living with her, but sometimes you go over there and sleep over. And then she was like, "How do you?" And it's funny because a lot of women ask me that. More cushion for the pushing. And she was like, something like, we hang around a lot, and you're gonna be something like my little brother or something like that. And I laughed, and I'm like, listen, the only reason why we hanging out is because you call me. That's it. You asked me to come over here and do this and do that, and I'm free, so I'll come and entertain you. But all this stuff, like you talking about you, my little, because I'm coming over like you, my little brother, and I think we were, big girls need love too. Oh yeah, yeah, they sure do. And so basically, I said, listen, stop playing them stupid games. And this is before I even knew that the game that these Japanese women pulled on these guys, man. Because when I came down to Osaka's, when I saw it, it was like crazy and stuff like that. But I was like, nah, we just here because you whatever. And then she said, but no. So I'm like, listen, psychology, all this stuff that you learned in the book, right? And I said, yeah. She said, yeah. And then I asked her, where did psychology come from? She saw in college and blah, 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 and this and that, and this and that. And I started laughing. I was like, no, you are psychology. I am psychology. Psychology comes from us. Somebody just went, saw what we did, observed, wrote, gave their opinions, and then wrote a book and teach it in class. That's all it is. I said, so you want to play these games, fine, go ahead. I'll play because it's fun, but when it's time for me to go, I gotta go. So go ahead. And then she said, no, it's not like that. And I started laughing. I said, you messed up. She's like, what? I said, listen, if you're going down the road, you have to prepare for the pit stops, how to go around them, how to go over them. But don't go back, because what that's going to do is going to either make that relationship just finish for good, it's going to make you look weak, or it's going to basically give an indication that when you come to a problem, instead of actually trying to solve that problem, you give up and retract from it. And of course, that's in life. Some of us, we do have to give up things, but giving up doesn't mean to go back, you know. And so when she said that, she said, well, I'm not trying to say it like this, and I'm not trying to say it. I said, listen, I said, listen, you came to me. I did not go to you. You came to me. So I don't have to do anything to keep you. You have to do everything to keep me. Coming over here, listening to you talk about your psychology that you learned in a book. And that psychology I know is me, and it's you, and it's everybody else. So I have no problems. I don't care. You can sit here and talk crap about me, whatever. I'm here because you came to me, and I know you need me around to help you, relax a little bit. And then, she's like, I'm sorry. And I said, it's cool. And I said, well, anyway, I gotta go. Where are you going? Out. With who? None of your business. Like, am I gonna see you again? I was like, I don't know. I said, you call me, I'll come by. Nice stick, man. Yeah, I wrote some books, all my books that I wrote for my whatever, all stick people. But I said, yeah. So she called me a couple of times, and I went over there and listened, but eventually I stopped going. But what I did was, I'm not the type of person who would just leave people hanging. So usually what I do is, what I did with her was I just took her out one time and show her to a place where a lot of guys hang out and stuff. I think it was up in Nagoya and stuff. And then, I just started talking to people, showing her how she can talk to the guys and the women, even though she was there. And then let her know that, hey, your problem is you don't know how to communicate with people. So I taught her how to do that. And it's funny how you meet people, you teach them a new skill, and they disappear. you know, And I used to do that a lot, and I got tired. But anyways, getting to the point, pretty much that's it. So when you out and you want to get a woman, instead just get to the point. Stop thinking about what women thinking about. You don't have periods. You don't have all that stuff. By the way, I was able to get back to Japan. Oh, okay, cool. Where are you at? Okay. Or hit me up later if you got line. Yeah, if you got line. And if you guys, and if you guys want to talk more in depth about things, join Clubhouse. But I'll need your number and I can add you. If you're on Clubhouse, I made a group called 50 and Over, and just talk about life and fun. Of course, you guys might be young, but still, or I can make another group, just the 50 JPN group or whatever. And we can go in there and talk. Of course, I can go on live and go in there. If you don't know about Clubhouse, it's a good way to build your platforms, and you can make a lot of money, a lot of business, even like they're doing here on YouTube too. But yes, it's not a big problem. Just stop thinking about what they're thinking. You're a man. You're supposed to think about what you think. They're gonna have their thoughts. Of course, thoughts are going to clash. Thoughts are supposed to clash when the man and the woman are communicating. They're not supposed to clash. A woman's thoughts are not supposed to clash in a group of only men talking about women's problems. Women, it's this woman, this woman. No. That's not how it's supposed to happen. When a bunch of men get together, men talk about men things. When a bunch of women get together, they're supposed to talk about women things. But everybody talking about everybody else, it's not that difficult. Do you want to have sex? Yes or no. Do you want to marry? Yes or no. Do you want to have kids? Yes or no. Do you want a rich person? Yes or no. You want a poor person? Yes or no. And that's it. In the group, I told them this. Here, let me erase this real quick. I told them guys something that was very valuable. I've said it in my YouTube videos a billion times probably. If you guys heard it before, then you're gonna have to listen to it again. Sorry, I have to apologize. Listen, this is very important. I wonder if this is sticking up. There is no such thing as a man who can satisfy a woman, 100% of the time. There is no such thing. You're not going to be able to satisfy her. She's not going to be able to satisfy you. What you need to understand, or you might want to understand, is 99.9% of the attention a person needs must come from self. Well, it's supposed to be parentheses. Don't do that. Use a towel. It must come from self. I'm gonna put it. Let's see. Can you guys see that? Oh, it looks a little low. Let's see. Put this down a little bit, just so you guys can see it. I'll just put it on the side. I'll just put it over here. Okay. Number one. Number two. 0.01% of the attention. Oops, it's too long. Of the attention people need comes from wait. Okay, only 0.0. 0.1% of the attention people need comes from others. Okay, let me see if I got that right. Okay, that's not what I was going to how did I see it? Okay, sorry. The other 0.1% of attention a person, the other what is it? Of attention needed, maybe needed, I forgot, I haven't said that in so long, comes from others. Comes from others. Okay? So basically what this is saying is that these guys are trying to satisfy a woman. 100, ooh, a man's, wait, let's see. Okay, I'm going to send you my number, private message. Okay, I disagree. Your job is not to satisfy. Yes, Ralph, I know you had her mind. Positive, be straightforward. Coming back to Japan, I feel as if I need to hustle twice as hard. Cool. You disagree. You got to tell me what you disagree with, but I'm not sure. But anyway, we all have our own thoughts and everything, so it's all cool. But anyway, basically for me, there is no such thing as a man who can satisfy a woman 100%. What I mean by that is that you can walk down the street with your woman. I disagree with trying to satisfy a woman. Oh no, you should never try to satisfy another woman. But that's not what this is saying. What it's saying is that there is no man who can satisfy a woman. Wait, is it the time? It's not the time. It's all of the time. Is it the time? Wait, I'm trying to think. There's no man who can satisfy 100%, 100% of the time, or maybe, 100% of the time. I'm trying to think. There might be something. There's no thing as a man who can satisfy a woman 100% of the time. Yeah, it's time. Okay, and the reason you spoke as if you should satisfy them, but all the time, that's what it sounds like. No. What it says is there is no such thing as a man who can satisfy a woman 100% of the time, because a lot of men always trying to satisfy women, or maybe I should say there is no such thing as satisfying a woman 100% of whatever the woman needs. But basically what I'm just saying is that of all men, a way to get rid of jealousy is to understand that when you're with your woman, there are going to be times where where your presence is not going to be satisfying to the woman. And basically, you can just walk down the street and that's evident. You walk down the street, you could be a 10. Well, I use Japan. I use the women in Japan because it's a better explanation. It's more obvious for those, especially those being who's visiting here. So basically, you can walk down the street with a 10, a Japanese woman who's a 10, and you turn a corner, and you'll see another Japanese woman who's a 10, but she'll make your 10 look like a 1. With women, what's good, guys? Haven't been on in like a month. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I think I tried to, I think that's you. I think I tried to hit you up on Facebook or Instagram or one of those things. But what I'm saying is, stop worrying about giving a lot of attention to women because, or attention, or that satisfaction, whatever it's called, because I forgot exactly how I said it. But yeah, because it's not your job to satisfy a person because you don't know everything that a person needs to be satisfied or what they want satisfied. And that's where communication comes in. Like when I was coming up, my mom, I think it was my mom, she told me when you're having sex with a woman, make sure you ask her constantly, what is she like, how does this feel, and everything. And then you'll be able to uh, make the sex more enjoyable and stuff like that. The whole thing is that don't try to satisfy a woman 100% of the time because the satisfaction that they need, 99.9% of it is going to come from themselves. And what I mean by that is because they're always hanging out by themselves. You know, you're not with your woman 24 hours, even when you're sleeping. You might sleep with her next door for 8 hours, but you're not interacting with her. And we all, this actually is for all of us, you know. We all have to learn to be able to satisfy ourselves because the 1% that comes from other people is really, I mean, it could be a big help and stuff, but it's really, really a small percentage, you know. And don't get me wrong because this percentages and real numbers are two different things. And if you do mathematicians out there, you'll know. But let's say 10 cents is that 0.1. So what is the other 99%? 99.9%. What is it? If this is it, what is the other? So there's a lot of numbers in there, you know. So basically what I'm saying is the woman might be with you because you're funny. And it's funny because I was in a group and these guys were talking about, oh, you know, I think it was the Red Pill, whatever group. And they're like, oh, you know, a woman needs a tall, strong, whatever kind of man. Those are the kind of men that get the women and stuff like that. And I'm laughing and I'm like, no, that's not true. I said, you know why a woman says to make them laugh? Hey, new viewers, thanks for the thumbs up. And they're like, I ain't gonna just, I said, you know why a lot of sisters ask brothers to make them laugh? And they said, I ain't gonna make no sister laugh. Get that, she gonna make herself laugh and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe you guys, you totally missed this story. Laughter, and I told this on this radio show like years ago. Laughter makes the body vibrate. Vibrating bodies put pressures on glands. Hello, thanks for the thumbs up. 6 viewers in the house. Pressurized glands release hormones. Release hormones make women horny. Horny women reach out and grab the closest man to them. As soon as I said that, all the women in the room started laughing. Verify what I said. They started laughing. Some guys did, but all of the women started laughing. Then this woman came off the mic and she said, you know what? She said, he's right, because everybody's telling me I'm wrong. She said, she's right. She said, the guy doesn't have to be, I mean, of course, she said, of course I want a handsome guy, but the guy could be short, he might not look good, but if he can make me laugh, he's 80% in. So basically she's saying they gonna be banging. You know what I'm saying? And these guys, no, that's not true. And I'm like telling them, laughter is an aphrodisiac. Yep. And so what I told them, I said, listen, you make a woman laugh, that's all you got to do. The women tell you to laugh, but because you guys don't understand the physiology of the body or whatever it's called, whatever, you don't understand it. I was in Nagoya one time, and I was driving with this lady, my friend introduced me to her, and I knew this years ago. So we driving, we're probably, where were we at, near what's that, Fukushima, I think it was, or something like that, near where the Hilton Hotel is. And then down the street, they got these Love hotels. So we're driving and we're talking. I only met her 20 minutes. We only been together 20 minutes. And, we just talking. I told her about that because she asked me something about relationships and all that stuff. And when I told her that story, she started laughing. I told her in Japanese. She started laughing. Wait, no, that was English because she spoke English. She started laughing. And then I got this thought, well, let me ask her. And I said, okay, so you want to go to the hotel? She said, yeah, bam, right to the hotel. That was it. I only met her 20 minutes, but I understood that. And these guys were like most guys do. A woman tells you what they're thinking, and the guy said, no, you're wrong. Even though you're a woman, even though you're telling me that, even though I know, whoever knows, I don't know what you're thinking, and I can't think like you and all that stuff, you're still wrong. And I laughed, and I said, did you guys watch Friday? And they're like, yeah, who didn't watch it? I said, do you remember when Ice Cube walked in the house, and I forget that actor's name, rest in peace, but he was, kind of, goofy looking and stuff, and the mom was kind of fine and stuff, and he walked in and said, Mom, what do you see in him? What made you? He said, oh, he a player or something like that, and she said, he's funny. He's funny. Okay? Why? What's good about funny? Because laughter shakes the body. And when you're shaking that body, your glands are going to release those hormones, period. And when those hormones are released, they make you feel good. And, I don't think any of you guys are women, but women, their vaginas get wet and they want something to go up in them, and a lot of guys don't know that. So this basically means that you don't have to work hard to try to satisfy a woman, because most women know that there's things that they got to do to satisfy themselves. The only satisfaction a woman need is only, or anybody actually, is just 0.1. But like I said, what is this number? 10 cents is 0.0% of what? You know what I'm saying? Plus, I'm sure you guys know, so you don't have to answer it. But if you have a number like this, things that a woman needs to do to make herself happy. Well, 99.9% of those things she has to do. Get a calculator, and then you only have to contribute 0.1%. So let me do a calculator. Where's my calculator? Calculator's always good. Always use them if you can. Calculator. I can't believe I don't have a calculator on here. Well, I can't believe I don't have a calculator on here. Wait, hold on. It should be in utilities. Oh, there it is. Okay, so what I'm gonna do it together. Let's see what's that. 456 minus 99. My battery. 99.9% equals to. That's wrong. That's wrong. 563. If you guys know how to do it, send me the answer. 563, 456, 456. Okay. Times 1%. Okay, let's do this. Times 0.1% equals to. That means out of all the 563,456 things that'll satisfy a woman, you have to come up with only 563 things. Now, question. Okay, then I'm going to finish this question. What 563 things that you do to satisfy your woman? Please answer. Okay, make it even simpler. Give me 100 things. Okay, I don't see anybody typing. No, whatever. This is new me. I'm a server at the Asian restaurant. I am constantly making groups of women laugh and great tips. Oh yeah, oh yeah. But don't get fired though. Okay, you can't give me 100, give me 50? Okay, not 50. Okay, I'll give you an easy number. Give me 10. Just give me 10 things you do to satisfy a woman. She says too much, but see what it is I said a man, there is no such thing as a man who can satisfy 100 a woman 100% of the time, because a woman needs a lot. 99.9% of the things that a woman needs, it has to come from her. It has to. It just literally has to. The only thing she needs from you is zero point 0.1. That means these guys are out here working way too hard to satisfy a woman. It's like, perfect example I've been saying all night. A woman gives her views. A guy comes and say, no, you don't. Thank you. No, that's not what women think. This is what y'all think. And then I'm looking at him like, huh? No, what we're saying is part of this. Not, what's that number? Oh, okay. Not the not this. Okay, this is the 0.1%. So a lot of guys just out there just doing too much, and sometimes some guys don't do enough. A lot of times the relationships in a house do break up, and it's usually communication, and a lot of times it is because the guy is trying to do too much. He really is, and he doesn't need to do much. And the little bit that he does need to do, a lot of guys don't know what it is, because the number one gift that you can give to anyone is your ear. It really is. It's your ear. Because when talking gets rid of a lot of stress and stuff like that. And like I said earlier, that's a fact. Some women, where they usually like a yup. You listen to a woman, like I said earlier, all you got to show up, listen, and let the women talk. And the next thing you know, they're gonna start talking, because even talking get them horny. And next thing you know, they're gonna start touching you. And when they start touching you, that means they're ready, And if you're not getting the signals, so you're not with her, eventually they're gonna grab you. I was in the club with a friend of mine. This one Japanese girl came. Big old mammary glands. Nice about this talk, came, bumped me as she's going to the bar pretty hard. But I'm like, here, the bar is here, so there's a wall. But she just, over to there. Then she comes back and she just lays her whole body on me. Just her whole body on me. And I'm like, oh my God, So I didn't do anything. I know what she wanted to do. She ended up going and grabbing one of my friends, just grabbed this dude and just yanked him outside, So the whole thing about a lot of guys thinking that it's a man's job to satisfy a woman and all this stuff. No, a woman don't need you for a lot of stuff. Maybe she need a man to have a baby. She might need a man for some comforting. She might need a man to laugh, or just to be a friend, or whatever. But she don't need you to provide her money, because she can do that themselves. Now, some people want the money, but she don't really need you. You know what I'm saying? She can go out and get the job, or she can perform a job, and maybe you can do it if you're her boyfriend or whatever. She don't need you to buy a house in her name. She don't need you to buy a car in her name. She don't need you to make $1 million. So when you really think about all the things that a woman really needs you for, it's very, 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 very few numbers. So I want to end. I know I'm probably cutting off things, but this macking game, this red blue pill stuff, that really don't exist, because you got guys who are short. Like a friend of mine said the other day, they got homeless people that got girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So, and whether they got together, they did, it doesn't matter. They need validation most of the time. No, they don't. That's what we think. And how many women have you said, I need validation from a man? Because most women, that's why they single. And that's why they going for their careers. Because they don't need a validation. They make $1 million and say, hey, if you don't have $6 million, then I don't want to be with you. Because they need a man who's assured of himself. They need a man who's assured of himself, not worrying about them. Because they got themselves. They don't need a man with all that money to, whatever. They assure of themselves. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of guys always putting these things, or not. I'm not saying you because you didn't say that. Those are not your words. I know you heard it and you're just repeating something. But a lot of the stuff you guys are hearing is just stuff that I heard. Could I put all it in a category of security? Well, I mean, but what you're talking about comes from who? Are those women's thoughts, or are those men's thoughts? Because a man say, "Oh, a woman needs a validity from us and all of that stuff," then the only reason he would know that is because a woman told him that, or because that's what he thinks. And if a woman tells him that, then why does he need to go around and keep thinking or memorizing security, love, being kind of being a good nah. That's just called communication, really. That's all. I mean, what kind of communication? Verbal communication, physical communication, spiritual communication, psychic communications, and everything else. Just we are communicating. You're welcome. We are communicating. So, but what kind of communication is this? YouTube live communication? But we're communicating. So, what I'm saying is, guys are the way the game is out. Oh, you got to find a woman, and a real man got to be able to satisfy his woman. But you ask a man, can you name 10 things that your woman needs to be satisfied that you do every day? Hell no, it's not gonna do it. No, you give him the numbers. This is all the things. You only have to prevent of all the things. It's like this. Walk up to a dude, a girl, we're talking and say, no, man, all you gotta do is, man, just if you can just satisfy a woman, 1/10%, you good to go, man. And that dude like 0.1%, that's all. And I'm like, I think it's 0.1%. Yeah. I said, that's all. He's like, damn, that's nothing. 0.1%. Of course, that's going to be because the people aren't really thinking about math. They just seen this little number, but they don't remember that little number has a whole number with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, only really? Oh, okay, I can do that, man. And like, okay, well, you see that girl, you like her, right? Yeah, okay, she likes you too. She want to get with you. I already set it up, everything. All you got to do is say, hey, show up, say, hi, I'm such and such, and that's it. And just grab her hand. You guys going to go about your life. You know what I'm saying? Just be nice to her and everything, but, just satisfy. And he was like, okay. And then he's like, oh, but what are those things? And I said, well, she gave me this, And then he looks at it. She says, I need 560. I have 563,456 things that needs to be satisfied. I need to be satisfied. I can do the 99.9%. That's not a problem. It's just natural. But I need you to do the other 563 things. Okay? And this dude's like, here we go. And it's the last thing. Dude be like, oh my God, here we go. Now, to make my point valid, I'm gonna ask you a question. You're only gonna get 1 minute. Can you name 10 adjectives about yourself, positive adjectives about yourself in 1 minute, but they cannot be the same. So you can't say I'm smart and I'm intelligent. Who can do that in 1 minute? Type. Go, I'm timing you now. Go. You got a few seconds. I want you to type it because I'm sure you can type all that in less than a minute. And I'll even be generous. I'll be generous and give you, where's my clock? Oh, I can't find my clock. I haven't used this iPad in such a long time, I forgot. I'll be generous and I'll start. You guys start doing it now, and I'm gonna do the timer. 1 minute. Okay? Type 10 positive, non-synonymous adjectives about yourself in 1 minute. I've asked a whole bunch of people that. Thousands. In a group, when they was trying to insult me and stuff, I asked them. One dude was like, "Can you give me an example?" Huh? I'm like, "What the? You know what an adjective is? Yeah." So you know what positive is? Yeah. He said, "But I need a hint." And I'm thinking to myself, you guys are in here telling these women what they're thinking, and you don't even know what a positive adjective is? You don't know what a positive adjective is, and you're trying to explain to me what it is? And I'm thinking like, oh my God, everybody, and I think he was there, and I'm like, everybody in this room, I'm thinking to myself, they need to leave. Optimistic, devoted, charismatic. Wait, let me see. Okay, one person did it. Optimistic, devoted, charismatic, funny, outgoing. But devotion and outgoing, I think they should be the same. Let's see, outgoing, adventurous, they should be synonyms. Gentle, charismatic, charming, and charming should be, they might be synonyms, but I'll check. Athletic, which is adventurous, so that should be another synonym. Transparent and beautiful. Okay, let me check. Charismatic, because you never heard a person who's not gentle as being charismatic. But think about this, and it's good that you did that. Now think about this. If you walk up to a woman and, oh no, let's say a woman walked up to you and told you those things about herself, would that be enough for you to date her? Would that be enough for you to date her? Because a lot of us really don't know 10 non-synonymous adjectives to describe themselves. And them guys asked me, and since you guys are watching this, they asked me to name 10. I said, I don't have to. You know, because I didn't want to show it to them, you know. I'm like, I don't have to. You know, I'm the one presenting this to you. You guys, you know, this is something that you're supposed to know. Well, why we need to do that? Because it's called communication. If you walk up to a woman and you like her, the first thing, one of the first 5 questions you need to ask her is like, oh, how you doing? Well, you might as well say, hey, I got a challenge for you. Can you name 10 non-synonymous positive attributes about yourself in a minute? And I've done it. Only 4 women did it. 3 of them were black. I mean, all 3 of them, all 4 of them were black. Only one did it in less than 30 seconds. The other 3, it took them barely a minute to do it. So let me do and I'm not challenging you, but I just want to see if there are any. Let's see, beautiful, optimistic, charismatic. Okay, let me look at optimistic. They sound optimistic. But what you really should have sent me was like, Ralph, fuck you. You ain't no, I ain't trying to date you. That's what you should have said. Optimistic. Oops, I spelled it wrong. Goodness gracious. The B instead of the P. But the B and the P are in 2 totally different places. Okay, so let me look it up. The service. Let's see. So, hello, right? Okay, so let's see. So it says bright, being cheerful. Let's see, because optimism, cheerful, charismatic, confident. Ooh, that's a good one. Confidence is the same as optimistic. Wow. Devoted, charismatic, funny, outgoing, adventurous, gentle. You know, you didn't even put anything about your competence, knowledgeable and stuff like that. That's interesting. Wow, this optimistic boy, it got a whole bunch of happy. Okay, so I'm looking at dictionary.com. I'm looking up devoted, optimistic, and optimistic, happy, expecting. Let's see if beautiful is in there. Positive. Wait, see if there's a bunch more. Oh, not that many. Let's see. So optimistic and feeling confident. What is really optimistic? Is confidence. Okay. hmm, positiveness, but outgoing would probably be a sign of being positive. Outgoing, just clarifying. But this not a test or anything. I'm just because a lot of people don't even, if you can't even name 10, you know, 10 positive adjectives about yourself, then that's going to be really interesting. Approachative. Let's see. Open, warm, approachable, civil, communicative, cordial, easy, expensive, avert, extrovert, and yeah. So extrovert. Let's see. Extrovert. What's the word? Outgoing. But I'm thinking informal, sociable, whatever. But I'm thinking some of these words are uh, no. What I'm saying is it's not about the communication. You have people talking about high value men and high value women. What is a high value man and what is a high value woman? Well, to me, a high value woman and a high value man is a person who is a problem solver. They can bring something to the table to create life, to expand things, to expand the positivity, to get rid of the negativity. So that's what a high value. So me, I'm a high value person. Okay. So I'm not rich or anything anymore. But what value do I bring to the table? Well, the value I brought to the table via my videos was to tell a lot of guys, black men, and it applies to everyone else, and who are in junior high school, how to study math, English, especially mathematics and stuff like that. English, hit the dictionaries, that's it. It's really simple. Everything you study is a word. It has a definition. Understand that, this is what you do. And then you go to junior high school, you go to college, it's the same thing, you know. And I've had hundreds of guys, maybe it could be thousands by me, but I know for sure I had 100 of guys calling me, personally thanking me for my value that I put in those videos that they use to get degrees, AA degrees, bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, PhD degrees. So I might not have $1 million. I mean, I had, but not now. But I'm a high value man. Well, how much money you make? Well, I make this, but my value is not in the money that I make. The value for me is in the money. It's the how can I say? It's the products that you guys create via my information. There's this one brother in DC, he got a blue collar job, whatever, getting like $30,000 in bonuses, and he's a brother, DC area. Now, he called me one time, we were talking, and he said, Ralph, if it hadn't been your video, had I not saw your videos when I saw them, and he was in maybe junior high school, he said, I would have been dead in 2 weeks. He said, I saw your videos, and from that day, I changed my life. Now he's getting whatever, plus his salary, plus an extra $30,000 a month in bonuses and stuff, what he's doing. And it's really interesting, his job and stuff. And so that's what value is. Now, of course, value is bringing money to the table. Value is bringing food to the table and stuff like that, of course, but we all valuable. In that case, yeah, I got a job, I'm bringing money, I'm bringing food to the table that I can eat or share with friends or family or whatever, but there's other kinds of value, the value in just me talking to you. That's you are valuable to me because I'm communicating with you. And you're taking the time out of your wonderful day to talk to me. So you talk about this high value woman, this high value this, but the whole thing is value is just something that someone possesses and shares that helps another person. So that means if a little kid comes on, tug your shirt, excuse me, sir, your shoestrings are untied. Well, he just made something valuable because you can walk down the street, trip over your shoestrings, and everybody start laughing at you. Then you be mad and want to fight the world. So That's understood, brother, bro. I'm here because I appreciate your experience. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, thanks. I'm just talking. Like I said, the reason I even started this video is because of a conversation me and a friend had earlier. And actually, I did make a video of it with me and him, but it stopped like 30 minutes into it because he had to go home and stuff. And that's when I really explained what was on the board a little better. Well, I would say at that time it was because it wasn't thought of and stuff. But yeah, you know, don't take it so hard, that you can't get a woman, because there are a lot of women out there who are looking for a man, and they'll take almost any man. But the whole thing is, what is it that you want? What is it? And to reduce a lot of problems when you meet a woman, just ask her, can you name 10 non-synonymous adjectives about yourself? And make it fun. And if she can, and you can do it, and if she's a real woman, and I mean not a real woman, but a mature, if her mind is mentally mature, and you got those 10 things, she'll like, come on, let's go get married. Come on, you're the man for me. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? And all the other stuff you guys can work out. Communication is the number one problem that a lot of people have. And if you can find someone who can communicate on the same level as you can, especially a woman, then that's it. Jump on it. Because the chances of her leaving you, especially if she's one of the women who values communication and understands the importance of communication, she is not going to leave you. She is not going to share about you out there messing around. And plus, if you're a high value man and you understand it too, you just be focused on her. On the other women, you got one diamond. Why do you need 20 of them? So anyway, I'm done. You guys have any more questions or anything? Let's see, what time is it? Ooh, yeah, I gotta go. Okay, I'm out. Peace.